Now, Israel is said to be proposing a 2-month pause in fighting for the release of all captives being held in Gaza. That's according to a report by Axios, which says the deal has been presented to Hamas through mediators. The proposal would be made up of several phases. Mediators from Qatar and Egypt have been working for weeks to reach a deal between Israel and Hamas. Well, let's speak to Stephanie Decker. She joins me now from occupied East Jerusalem. Steph, there's obviously nothing official about this deal, but what do we know about this proposal that's ostensibly on the table?
Yes, it's now being picked up by all Israeli media, and what we have is the bones of what seems to be a new proposal by Israel to Hamas. The U.S. envoy, Brett McGurk, according to these reports, is already in Cairo to discuss this deal, and he'll be heading on to Qatar. Of course, Egypt and Qatar crucial in the negotiation between the two sides. What do we know about the deal? Well, Israel is proposing a 2-month pause in the fighting. This is a very long time, and then it's saying that the captives should be released in phases. So first of all, Hamas would be releasing those over 60, all women, and those over 60. The second phase would be Israeli female soldiers and the men that Hamas deems as non-soldiers. And then the third phase would be the male soldiers and the bodies, because of course there are also bodies that remain inside Gaza held by not just Hamas but other groups as well. And then also it specifies the redeployment of Israeli soldiers away from some urban areas to allow Palestinians to be able to return home. Of course, the question mark is, what do they have to return to? But certainly this seems to be a new kind of deal, the bones at least of what they may be discussing. Now, Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, is coming under a lot of pressure to do more to bring the captives back alive. He has maintained defiantly, even until yesterday, that the fighting will not stop, that the captives will be brought back militarily. But you've had increasing pressure on the streets. You've had families of the hostages storm the Israeli Knesset, the Israeli parliament. They're camping outside his home here in Jerusalem. So it seems to be that there is some form of bones, if you will, skeleton on the table now for negotiations. These are early days, but I think it's significant. We'll have to wait and see what kind of compromises will be made on both sides. But certainly if we're talking about a 2-month pause in the fighting, this is a significant time. But again, early days, just the bones, but it is a new deal that is being talked about, we understand.
Stephanie Decker with that update for us from occupied East Jerusalem. Thanks, Steph.